live Q&A, and by now you know how this works. And if you're here for the first time, my name is Kam Dovedi. I'm the founder of Premier Property, and on a weekly basis I do this, which is answering your questions and helping you to help yourself to move forward in your journey. And joining me today is one of our Premier Property team, Jess. Do you want to say hi?
Hiya.
Go on, give us a wave.
Hi.
There you go. Right. Okay. So Jess is going to help with the questions. So fire away.
Okay, so the first question's from Maria West. So, hi Cam, I have a leasehold converted flat, which is one of the 3 conversions. I own the top floor flat, which has the roof of the building, and the roof has started leaking. I approached the freeholder about repairs, and he says that the 3 leaseholders have to arrange the repairs and split the costs. The freeholder only collects rent and the and the insurance for the building. He does not collect a maintenance charge, and there is no management. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, brilliant. So what do you do? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, as I'm the leaseholder, most at risk, I cannot leave the roof to get worse. So, have started repairs. My understanding is that the freeholder is usually responsible for maintaining the outside of the building. And the leaseholder responsible for the inside parts that form part of their flat. Is it usual the leaseholder has to repair outside of the building in leasehold properties?
Yeah, great question. And by the way, these questions are from our Premier Property Inner Circle members. And don't you reckon Jess is doing really well? Jess, let's give her a thumbs up, shall we? Right, there you go. So, answering that question, you're quite right. So, from my understanding, what you got is this. I'm just going to draw on the board over here. So, what we got is some of this happening. So, you've got a freeholder who owns a small block, because you've got 3 flats in there. So, this is what we've got, something like this. I'll do it over here. So, if you can imagine, that's the block. You've got the roof here, let's say. So you've got 1, 2, and 3 apartments, 3 flats, right? And as I'm understanding your question correctly, you are the leaseholder over here, and of course, you know, the roof is there. Now, the thing is, first of all, because it's a small block, you've probably got a small company or a private individual who owns the whole of this freehold. It's probably the situation, right? And the thing is, the responsibility is still the freeholders for the keeping of the outer part of the building. So all of this, the double glazed windows, all the external elements, the roof, all of this is the responsibility of the freeholder. So although they might not be charging you a service charge, they're still part of the part responsibility is the freeholders. So you're within your rights to get the freeholder to actually fix the roof. Now they should have an insurance policy. So they should have an insurance policy that covers the block and it covers the roof. So first thing I would ask you to do is to check in on the freeholders policy for the external part of the building, where they can claim on the roof for the insurance. Secondly, what you can do is, if need be, sometimes some of these freeholders, not everyone's, let's be honest, right? Property can be a sharky world out there. Not everyone's ethical and friendly as we would like them to be, right? So, one of the things that you could do is to sort of instigate a letter from a solicitor to just mention that they are responsible for the actual roof, and that should help the freeholder to get moving forward and do the right thing, which is get the roof fixed, whether that's through the insurance policy or whether that's through themselves. So Maria, you're part of the PPIC, you're part of the Premier Property Inner Circle. So see how you get on and let me know how you get on with that. And if you need to take any further steps, we can look at that as well. So thank you, Maria. Great question. They're very specific to you. And we're going to go on to the next question.
Yep, so the next question is from Adam Wu. So, hi Cam, an online estate agent called Assets Property asked me to pay £2,000 reservation fee for 2 flats to the vendor, which was a limited company. But the vendor could not provide the EWS1 form Am I entitled to the refund of the reservation fee? The reservation fee form was on the letterhead of a estate agent. Who should refund me the money?
Okay, so Adam, you really got to look at contracts. So I have a number of finders that find property for us, and it's really about understanding the agreement that you got in that finder's fee agreement, because some of them will actually say that, you know, regardless of whatever happens to you know, the ongoing process of that property purchase, they still want their fee. Other finders will actually say that they will want their fee on exchange. What we normally push for at Premier Property is to pay them on completion. So it's really about now, you know, really checking on that wording of the agreement that you made with the with this party, with this agent. Yeah. So that's what you want to check, and you know, really scrutinise that, and then you can make an informed decision. Hope that makes sense. I like to do it, you know, if where we can. You know, and by the way, you know, we've all been there, haven't we? Right, where, you know, we sign terms and conditions and all that kind of thing. But you do really want to read through those terms and conditions before you sign them. So, yeah, yeah. So hopefully you can read that, and hopefully you get a good solution from that one. Look at these technical questions, really, really detailed today, right? So that's okay. So these are the Premier Property Inner Circle members, and you're probably watching this on YouTube, right? If you're watching this on this is saved on Facebook Live, and it's then followed up and shown on YouTube. So Jess, as you're here, what do you recommend that everyone does on YouTube?
Hit the like and subscribe button, guys.
Say that again.
Hit the like and subscribe button.
You like a bit of social media, so yeah, that's fine. So hit a like and subscribe button, and you know, on a serious note, I'm doing this every week, and I'll do my best to help and answer your questions, and I'd love to hear your comments as well. Okay, next, Jess, next question.
Okay, perfect. So the next one is from Alex Phillip. So it's, hi Cam, bit of a random question. Have you ever bought a disused petrol station with a view to developing on the site? We're guessing there would be issues with removal of contaminated ground, etc. Best just to avoid?
Alex, I think you kind of summed it up really there. My view is there's so many opportunities in property, especially in permitted development and development right now in 2021. You know, it's a great year for adding value. And as you asked the question, and you know, you put that sort of sentence at the end of it, I think you're right. I think you can do things, you know, much easier way for yourself, and you know, you can move the obstacles out of the way and really get into a really good deal. So answer is, yeah, let's have a look at something else which, you know, is going to be, you know, you don't have as many obstacles. There's always going to be challenges. That's normal. That's development, and of course, you know, that's why you know, people, you know, I share information with people so they can move forward. And all I'm sharing is, as an investor developer, what we're doing on a daily basis. So what we look for is 3 specifics. So you want easy entry level. Secondly, you want to look for opportunities which other people see as challenges, and you know, for them their problems, where you can actually make that opportunity work for you, because you know, you're learning all this stuff, aren't you, right? So that's fine. So those opportunities, you know, become your easy entry level, where they are difficult for other people. So look for those opportunities. And thirdly, what I'll share with you is, you know, make it doable for yourself. So if you've done projects before of the same nature, then that's fine, let's do it again. But if it's something you're cutting your teeth on, then why not jump into something where, you know, it's again, there's, you know, some challenges there, but managed challenges. So you want to be getting into something that's de-risked, which you can actually manage as well. So that would be my suggestions for you. That's how I started actually in development. So yeah, that's my suggestion for you on that one. Next question, Jess.
So the next one is from Jason Joyce, and this says, so hi Cam, if I buy 2 houses from the same vendor and they are willing to do a deal, can I structure a deal where I can get a mortgage that buys both of them and 1 deposit? Would I then have to remortgage on both of them with 2 new mortgages? What are my options? Suggestions to do this, as I could release the equity from getting a reduction on the price to use for the deposit of a 3rd property later. Thank you.
Yeah, great question, Jason. So if I hear you correctly, so I want to answer this one. maybe you're thinking about buying multiple properties, because right now, if you're watching this, isn't it the fact that is that it is a buyer's market that is out there right now. There's a lot of investors selling property. There's a lot of people that are retiring from property. Some of them think there's too much legislation. Some of them have been in the business for a long time. So it's a real year here right now, isn't it? Where you can really get into property, and let's be honest, stock is selling fast. Opportunities are here. You got to get in. You got to learn what to do, of course, and jump in and get the result. So Jason, I like what you're doing. So if I hear you correctly, you've got 2 properties now. We've just actually done this month. We've actually secured 3 deals, which have just gone over to the exchange phase. Now these 3 properties are actually on the same road. 2 of them are actually next door to each other, and a third one is further down the road. So it's 3 properties which we're going to turn into 3 HMOs. And thinking about it, 3 HMOs. I love HMOs. That's going to add another £3,000, £3,000 to £3,500 per calendar month to your bottom line. So when you think of it like this, HMOs become really exciting, don't they? People talk about financial freedom, and let's forget talking about. Let's do financial freedom. So HMOs work really well in this way, and these properties, like I said, 2 of them together, and one of them on a separate address on road number 2, 42, and 44. So one of the things that you've got to be bearing in mind, Jason, in my experience, it's a case of being able to do so we did a separate mortgage for each one of those. So it was the same lender, but 3 separate mortgage applications. Because what you've got to remember is that the title is separate for each of these properties. So the lenders will look at them as a separate title, 1, 2, and 3. So that's what we've done. So we've had 3 mortgage applications. The valuations were also separate. So each was on its own merits. Each case was a separate case. One of the things that you do want to be aware of where properties are joining, just make sure that the lender is actually happy for you, happy to lend on those 2 properties where they're joining. We have had situations in the past where the lenders come in and said, hang on a minute, you're buying this one and you're buying this one as well. Because you're buying both, well, it could be that you decide to knock through, and they don't really like that, to be fair. Some lenders don't like that. So what we had to do in that situation was we had to buy them through, I bought them through my family. So, I bought one, my son bought the other one. So in that way, we were able to buy those 2. Whereas in this instance here, what's happened is those 2 properties that together, I've actually bought them in a limited company, and the lender's actually been fine with it. The lender that we actually used in this instance is Fleet Mortgages, no financial advice. I'm just sharing with you what we've actually done. So we used Fleet Mortgages for that, and they were okay with that within the limited company, with 2 properties being next door to each other. So I know I'm giving you a bit more than you asked, but hey, welcome to Premier Property. This is the way we roll. But my point is that yes, separate entities. Be aware of what I've just shared with you, that if they're next door to each other, so it's something to look into. But yeah, that's typically how it works. The only way really that we've done at Premier a lending in one as one block is actually a block. So I have bought properties where there's flats in the block, but it's actually the commercial building, the whole freehold that you're buying. With the entities within there, so in effect you're buying the whole thing, so there's only one transaction, if I'm making sense here for you. Yeah, so hope that helps you, Jason, to move forward. So looks like separate applications, but that's all good. Brilliant. So that is Jason's question. If you're liking this, by the way, just give me a quick thumbs up if you're watching this live, and on YouTube. Jess, over to you.
Right, so the last question, this is from...
on YouTube, what can we do?
Oh yeah, like and subscribe. Like and subscribe, guys.
Like and subscribe. Well, how'd you do that?
You click that like and subscribe button.
Right, lovely, alright then. Well, if you're really old like me, then you need to know sometimes. Alright, cool. Fine, so next question.
Yeah, so the next question is from Rotami. I hope I pronounced your name right. So this says, good afternoon, my fellow PPIC members. It's great to be part of this wonderful group. Kindly I ask for assistance as a newbie. I have a client that wants me to source a 3-bedroom house within the London or Kent area. His budget is 300k. He's willing to do auction, dilapidated or land to build. He lives in Ireland but is in the UK for this purpose. The idea of building really interests him. Please can someone help me, as this is an opportunity for me to get started.
Oh, brilliant. Watch Me. So Watch Me is part of the Premier Property Inner Circle, one of our students. And Watch Me, I just want to say, and you're inspiring other people, because you might be new to property, but you're not new to life, are you? Yes. So, great question. Sounds like you're sourcing a property and you've got a potential investor looking at dilapidated land and projects of that type. And you mentioned your specific example. So that's absolutely fine. So, here's some things. Now remember, I'm also a sourcer. And sourcers also source for ourselves at Premier Property as well. And that's all fine, because it's all about your niche, as a sourcer. And sourcing is a brilliant way, because when I didn't have a lot of money, one of the ways I got into property was actually property sourcing for other people and getting paid as a finder for finding these properties. So a great way that you're getting into this, Watch Me. So here's some of my learnings I'm going to share with you right now. So one of my learnings is this: you want to separate, how can I say this politely? You want to separate the talkers to the action takers. Now if you're still here and you're watching this, clearly you're showing everybody here and yourself that you are an action taker, aren't you? Yes? So what is my point? My point is, what to me, that there will be people that will mess you around out there. There will be people who say, yeah, they've got 5 million, 10 million, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then they will, when it comes to you, you find a deal, and this used to happen to me, you find something, it's really good, it's got an urgency there because you've got to move on it fast, yeah, let's be honest, a good deal isn't going to hang around, right? So, you go to your investor says, oh, by the way, they've spent the money elsewhere, they bought another property, or they're away for a while, or they come up with a good reason, or some would say an excuse. And there you are, stuck with a really good deal, which, you got to find someone really quickly. Yeah? So, you will get people like that. So, how do you overcome that? By the way, this took me 12 years to learn this, and this is one of the reasons I train people on this, right? And that is, always get a financial commitment. A financial commitment, a time commitment. The key word here is, and feel free to write this down, is to get some commitment of some form and nature. So that could be either of those two. It could be time or finance. So as a finder, you could ask them to come to meet you for the meeting. Are they willing to spend the time to come to you? If they are, then they seem like a serious person, because they're investing their time, aren't they? Yeah. Hopefully you're following me here. And by the way, is it okay if I just keep it real? Just give me a quick yes. Type it in the comment box. I just like to keep things real. People do say to me, Cam, you're a little bit different, and you're very real. And get on with it. Okay, so let's get on with it, right? So, do get that commitment. Yeah, some form of commitment. Doesn't have to be a huge amount of money. It could be a small token commitment. £100, £200, £250, reservation, something. Yeah. So that means that you've got a potential vetted client who's actually going to buy your services. Yeah. Second thing I would say for sourcing is, be open to what you're actually sourcing. Because some people, they get into these non-disclosure agreements and all of that kind of thing, which is fine. However, let's be honest, if somebody really wants to find an address or wants to find out the property that you're showing, you're going to have to show some details. So my point here is, work with people that you get to know. So for example, one of the advantages of our Premier Property community is, you really get to know good people. You get a good vibe from people, and because you're in a community, what happens is, you've got a better chance of success because there's some trust, isn't there? Yeah. So I found that to be a benefit. That's why I'm sharing that with you as well. And the third thing I would say is your agreements also need to be watertight. So please have a finder's fee agreement, and the finder's fee agreement, you can actually give that to the solicitor, the contract solicitor, or the conveyancing solicitor, in fact, who's actually going to be dealing with the transaction. And just like an estate agent does, because that's really how you're acting. You're acting as a sourcing agent. You're actually an agent. You're a purchasing agent, in effect. So you can give that agreement to the solicitors, where it actually says in the agreement that the buyer will actually pay your fees, just like an estate agent does when they purchase the property. Yeah, so you can create terms within that. So hope that helps you watch me. So some specifics there to work on, and I love what you're doing, and I hope you're enjoying these Q&As. I'm doing them every week, and as Jess has just said, Jess, what can people do?
Hit the like and subscribe button, guys.
hit and like the subscribe button, and I will continue sharing information with you. And I'll see you this time next week. My name is Kam Dovedi, helping you take your property investing to the next level. See you soon.